Good morning to you. Welcome to the Merry Monday Mail Call Show. This is still only 35 cents. I hope you are all well. May the 4th be with you if you're in the US and the UK and anywhere else that's probably not Australia. But yes, May the 4th be with you. It's Star Wars Day. It's a Jedi celebration. So I haven't got any Star Wars books for you today, but hope you had a great day. Hope you had a good free comic book day too and picked up a lot of books and started reading those books. So it's great to see you all. Well, what happened this week? We had Thunderbolts come out. So I went to see it on Wednesday this week and Wednesday evening here. So that was Wednesday morning US UK time. Had a great time. Loved the movie. Now, caveat on the title. For those that, how many of you have seen it? I would love to know how many of you have seen it. We have Vincent in chat. Did you see it, my friend? How are you? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Always a pleasure. Always good to see you in the chat. Yeah, I had a great time. I thought it was a return to form somewhat for Marvel. It definitely sets up the next few movies. So we'll see how they go. But yeah, it was an interesting one. I'm trying to sort of retain off the spoilers until we get later in the show, just to sort of give everyone a bit of a sense. But overall, I think the character building was very, very good. I was a little disappointed at the end, though, because I can see where this is going, and it sort of like feels like this amazing setup for this great team, but is anything going to survive beyond Secret Wars? So it sort of feels like a little bit bittersweet. We might see how well these characters go and this team goes, because I think we're heading for a soft reboot of the entire MCU. But we will see. We will see. At the moment, it feels very much like they're trying to get back on track, which is great. Next movie in the MCU is going to be Fantastic Four, so I'm looking forward to that. Again, I'm a little bit mixed on it in certain character choices. I think the certain character choices flowed through in this movie too. There were a couple of characters in there. Ghost in particular, I felt was underutilized, and there were a lot of things that if you thought about them too hard, you were sort of, well, how does that make sense? So, but overall, love Red Guardian. Wasn't too happy at the end when he's a lot of the characters are sort of again underutilized and reverted to sort of comic relief. I think he was much more comic relief, which was to be expected. But you know, I would have liked these characters to sort of, it was a great movie. But like all movies, there's always some issues as we go along the way. We'll come to that when we do the full review. But I got these lovely Thunderbolts drink coasters whilst I was there. So I picked a few of those up. So that'll go with my coffee. But I thought we'd go through Free Comic Book Day before we get into the spoiler review proper. We have Richard in the house, extraordinaire moderator and all-round good guy, always in the chat. Great to see you, Richard. I should put the link into the chat, and then anyone who feels like joining and talking about our friends in the Thunderbolts, it would be good. I'll pop that in, and I'll be watching to see who turns up. But let's move to Free Comic Book Day, because I think that I'd love to know what everyone got. I picked up, we were allowed 3 books. So I picked up 3 books from Free Comic Book Day. Let's bring up the main screen. I wonder if you can see this. Oh, let's zoom out. Whoa, there we have it. So yeah, I picked up 3 books this time from Free Comic Book Day. Richard just saw the movie last night. Fantastic. So spoilers or non-spoilers, put it in the chat. For those of you who have seen the movie, the asterisk becomes very clear. And so that was part of our rationale for the no spoilers tag, so that anyone who saw that would know that we will be revealing some spoilers and getting everyone's thoughts, because I think those spoilers make for a very interesting viewing. So But let's get back to Free Comic Book Day. So I had 3 books that I was able to pick up from the store. I did try cheekily to pick up 3 books of one title, but unfortunately was not allowed. But we'll see. Richard picked up 1 book, the Comic Boom Studios. I looked at that. 20 years of Boom Studios is the book that was available. I did look at it. Was it any good, Richard? Let me know in the chat. Dave saying hello, hosting D&D night. Catch up soon. Thunderbolts was fun. Saw it with friends. Great to see you, John. And yes, enjoy the D&D night. I am jealous. I wish I was there playing with you. We have Bo in the house. Good to see you, sir. It's a full house. So yes. So I got Godzilla, The New Heroes. Yeah, just like a bit of Godzilla every now and again. And thought this was a pretty good pickup. Again, I'm a big fan of Godzilla when done properly. So yeah, this was a nice one. Art inside is, I'd say, it's okay. Story was okay too. But I did enjoy it. And it was nice to sort of pick that one up. Did anyone else grab Godzilla? I picked this one up. Obviously, it's an obvious one that I would need to pick up. The Best of 2000 AD. Interesting choice of stories for the Best of 2000 AD. As you can see here, there's new stories, which or new and old stories inside, including this Rogue Trooper here. So I was a bit mixed on this one. I think if you're going to do a Best of 2000 AD, do a Best of 2000 AD. Like, put all of the best stories in there, because I just feel, the modern stuff, you should be like putting more of the classics in. But overall, nice introduction for others to see. It's nice to see 2000 AD getting some love in Free Comic Book Day. But yeah, I would have gone a little bit harder on the classics. And the obvious one for me is Mark Spear's Monsters. Now, this one I thoroughly enjoyed. If you haven't already grabbed any Mark Spear Monsters, or it's not on your list, I would urge you to do so. I'm enjoying this title. What was nice is that this is an issue 0. So I've already got issue 1 through 4 now, including I managed to pick up the Ageless One variants from C2E2 through a live sale on Whatnot. So I'm happy to have picked that up. Signed and remarked by Mark Spears himself. So that's good to add to the collection. But this was just a nice little surprise. And my understanding is this is a separate story, prelude story. So it fits perfectly. So it's a brand new story. So you're not duplicating issue 1, which I was afraid that's what they were going to do with this issue. So happy that it's actually its own separate story with the funny clown piece. But again, this is a part of the reason why Mark Spears' stuff is so good. Look at it. It's just great artwork, which is my understanding is it's a sort of combination of 3D models and art that he does. So this is why it stands out, and I don't think anyone else is doing this as well as Mark is doing at the moment. The amount of work that he manages to push out is astounding. Like, he just keeps popping. And again, when you're using 3D models like this, it does make it a lot easier. You can sort of reframe shots, so that's probably why it's so quick. But I'd imagine I'd love to get him on the show to chat through Monsters and his process. I know that he's done we've tried to link up a couple of times, but yeah, I'd love to have him on the show and go through his process and understand how he does it, because I think it's a fascinating piece, because it is very cinematic. And I know when he was doing the Kickstarter, one of the things he was looking for was someone to help him with dialogue in terms of writing. He'd got the story, but needed a writer to help him with the story. But yeah, I think that was the pickup for everyone. Everyone was picking up Monsters. So I'm really happy with that to add to the Monsters collection. 5 issues. I have also seen he's got a Kickstarter running at the moment for a new set of trading cards, which is basically the variant covers. I've got a box of his season 2 Mark Spears Monsters trading cards, but I didn't sign up for this one because, to be honest, it's between a throw up between getting the comic books and getting these. And I think a lot of these exclusives that are being produced for Monsters at the moment, they're so thin in terms of the ratios, like 1 in 100s, or you've got to buy the whole kit of books. I've sort of given up on trying to collect all of the variant covers because it's a expensive game. But again, there's only as I say, Mark Spears' covers are impressive, and the artwork inside does not disappoint because it's essentially the same stuff but in story form. So I urge you to pick up Mark Spears Monsters. I actually prefer his own book where he's actually done the whole issue. So it'd be interesting to see. I know he's done a lot of covers recently. It'd be interesting to see if he does any stories for the main 2 or even his own image book or another book through Keenspot. I'd love to see him reimagining a full comic book with one of the classic characters. So we'll see how that goes. And then I got a whole bunch of stuff post New Comic Book Day, which I wouldn't normally have picked up. So I managed to grab Battle of the Planets Gatchaman, Only One Earth, issue 1, pure cover buys, these two, and Only One Earth, issue 2. I was a big fan of Battle of the Planets back in the 70s. Used to love it, watched it on Saturday mornings religiously, loved it. And again, I didn't realize it was a full Japanese manga at that point. But this is great to be able to pick this up and read this and relive those days. Artwork inside, pretty cool too. So really looking forward to that. Loved these characters, and as you can see here, let's have a quick look. The painted artworks are the best, but it is really good to see this on the shelves. I need to get a Battle of the Planets, the original, I think Gold Key book. But I love these covers. I shall get the whole run just purely for these covers because they're absolutely fantastic looking. Very reminiscent of the art. And then I have got into, I'm really stretching into the Ghost Machine universe. So picked up a whole bunch of back issues that I found in the back issue bins to sort of start finishing off the collection. So managed to pick up a copy of Redcoat. Redcoat is an immortal soldier going through the ages. Apparently, as I say, I haven't read these yet, but I'm just trying to get the whole run so I can actually read through. I've heard a lot of good things about Redcoat, and will be picking these up when I see them. So I've got issue 10, issue 11, which I think is the latest one, and it's not the first appearance of the Northerner, is my understanding. I think the Northerner appears in another book first, but they're introducing them here. I got a Geiger 13. Again, I've collected the first series of Geiger, but wanted to start picking up the second volume. Got a Redcoat number 9. Let's just move this out of the way for a second. Got a Redcoat number 9. A Redcoat number 8. And a Redcoat 7. Very tricky black cover there. And a Redcoat 5. The aforementioned Geiger 13. But the real gem for me was finding this in the mix. Went to the back issue bins, and there was one single copy of Ghost Machine 1, which is the kicking off of this whole unnamed storyline, which you can see here on Redcoat, on Geiger. And this features the first appearance of Hyde Street in the comic itself, in Ghost Machine 1. So I was happy to pick this up. And what was also nice was finding that this was a brand or a story, a brand new story that came out first, which I wasn't aware of for Hyde Street. And the first appearance of a number of characters, including Mr. X-Ray, Pranky. So yeah, great to pick that up at cover price, which again, that book is picking up. And I think Ghost Machine Universe, if you haven't checked it out already, I'd urge you to do so. Hyde Street's a great book. I'm looking forward to reading Redcoat and obviously picking up Ghost Machine. That was a lot of fun. Let's see who we have in the chat. And then last but not least, in terms of the pickups this week, I got my Martian Manhunter issue 2. Fantastic 4 or Fantastic 2, issue 31. So slowly but surely the Fantastic Four are getting decimated. This issue was interesting. Ben Grimm has lost his powers thanks to Doctor Doom, and they try to find Ben Grimm's. They try to reclaim Ben Grimm's powers by going back to the multiverse and different times when the spaceship that they launched into was hit by the cosmic rays. But something terrible happens at the end, which I won't spoil, but I actually enjoyed this as a read. I think I'll go back and get the rest of this Fantastic Four One World Under Doom run. Feels quite interesting. So the cover doesn't really belay what's in the book. But yes, if you're reading One World Under Doom and Ben Grimm losing his powers, this is a good book to get. And then to close out on the new books from this week, I got this foil goodness of Superman 233, so 233. This relaunched #1 with this great Neil Adams cover, which apparently he just threw together and never really liked too much. But a classic, iconic cover, which I've lucky enough to have a copy. I have a cover swipe that was done by Bill Sienkiewicz of this, featuring Warlock, which is how it came to my attention. So I do have a copy of this book, and we'll cover that in one of the mega members mail call shows in the future. I'm going to be showcasing that. But yeah, it's great to pick this one up. It's still sealed, and I haven't opened it up. But yes, it's it recreates the book and even got the original ad. And I thought the original ad was nice on the back in that beautiful foil goodness. Really enjoying these foil covers at the moment because they really do add and look really nice on the shelf. So yeah, if you see one in store, go grab that. We also have I Am One of Us in the chat. Nice to see you. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. And then to close out my bargains of the week, pick this up at half price. This is Spider-Man: A History and Celebration of the Web Slinger, decade by decade. And I'm going to crack it open so you can have a look. Couldn't resist this at 30 Australian dollars. Even just for that cover alone, really happy that this managed to pick this up. But as you can see here, it's yes, covers the history of the web slinger all the way through. So how he first started, bit of a feature on Stan, got some interesting Ben Cooper masquerade masks, things like that. So yeah, I thought this was a little nice, interesting pickup. So I'll have a read through of this, but just goes through the ages, even covers off some of the ads. So there's Mary Jane there appearing, death of Gwen Stacy. So you can see here, you get all the way to the end. So it covers all of the titles right up to Miles Morales. And as I think you start to see him in movies as well. So a great little book to pick up at a reasonably cheap price. So we'll see how we go with that. I shall be enjoying reading that. And then before we get into our Thunderbolts, thought I'd share this with you as well. This arrived this week. Now, this is quite funny. Why Heritage do this, I have no idea. So they send it via ground post. And like the auctions happened. I got this on Saturday. So the auction's already happened. So I'm going through, not paying attention to the dates, looking at pieces. So I'll give you a good example. This was of particular interest to me. Carlos Esquerra, Judge Dredd's first historical drawing concept original art. Beautiful piece. And I'm like, oh, I would have looked at that. I would have considered bidding for it. Went to the website, already sold. So let's have a look at see how much that sold for, because I'm very interested. Let me just jump to lot 51005. 51005. It went for $50,000. Let's bring this up so you can see it. And I will say hello to the chat because we have someone who does do a lot of heritage work and looking at heritage. It's Mikey from Swaggerhouse. Hello. Welcome to the show, sir. Always a pleasure. Thank you. Great to see you at WonderCon this year. And thanks for joining, mate. As I say, this is... I'm still reeling by the fact that they sent this and it arrived 3 days, no, 4 days, 5 days after the auction. So yeah, a bit of a waste of marketing there, but it is nice to have a nice glossy cover of this. But let's just share the screen on this so you can see it. Here we go. So let's just scroll up here. There it is, $50,000, including the buyer's premium. I'm not sure I would have paid that, but it would have been interesting. It would have been a nice thing to sort of pick up. I've seen this in, I do have a copy here actually of, and we'll show this for comparison. I've got a copy of, let's stop that screen and bring this up. I do have a copy of the Judge Dredd Annual 1981, which I was going through this weekend, which does come with this interesting letter, which I'm still trying to make out why it was even in this book. Borog Thung Earthlet, I, Tharg the Mighty, am pleased to enclose your personal copy of the 1981 Judge Dredd Annual. Be sure to adjust your senses before you scan its cosmic contents. The thrill power level is excitingly high. Even the dictators of Zrag secretly like it. Splundug Ver Thrig Tharg the Mighty. Cosmic PS, a very Merry Christmas from all the robots at the command module. So my understanding is the person that bought this, it was a lot of these books, had a number of those letters. I've got a number of those letters, which I'll be doing a video on at some point. But from memory, I seem to recall, yep, here we go. I already had, if I can find it, said sketch in this book. So there's an article about the Judge Dredd story. This is the annual from 1981, as I say, where Steve McManus investigates the origins of Britain's #1 comic character. So get to see the original art next to the original art in the annual. So I had seen this before, ironically, the day before when I was going through it. But this Judge Dredd annual also reprints the first appearance of Judge Dredd. So if you haven't already, this is probably one of the, if you're going to go and grab a Judge Dredd book, get you started, I'd go with Judge Dredd Annual 1981. This gives you a history of the character, and it's a classic sort of hard UK hardcover. So yeah, that was interesting. But as I say, good old heritage deciding not to send it in the right time. A couple of things in here I wanted to share with you as well that I really liked. This Frank Miller one, thought that was good. I haven't checked the price on that one. This Phoenix one, which I wasn't sure. It is a Jean Grey variation of Jean Grey. Don't think I've ever seen Jean Grey like that before. So that one was very interesting. I'd be very keen to see what that went for. 5106. Let's just have a quick look to see what that went for. $4,000. So I'd be tempted at that price. Don't know about you, everyone. That's an interesting one. I really liked that one. So yeah, I could see that being on the wall because it's quite different. It's not your usual superhero stuff. But the ones that really got me, this Silver Surfer by John Buscema and Sal Buscema. Thought that was an interesting one. Let's have a look. 51032. I should do more of this. Mikey does a great job when he goes through and reviews the sales. Looking forward to the next signature auction. I think it's in 27th of June. So looking forward to that. I shall probably do a bit more. That went for 17,500. Not surprisingly. This Gabriel Del Otto Marvel Visions, I liked that one too, although a little bit strange in terms of very Gabriel Del Otto. I wasn't sure about Wolverine's sort of long, thin cowl design there, but a nice piece regardless, colourful. So that one went for 15,625. But the ones that really got me and were really interesting for me were these foreign variant pieces of art. I really love these Spanish artists. I think it's Spanish artist. This is John Frisano. This is from Strange issue 79. So this one, and these are quite affordable, and I think they're quite interesting because they were the covers to these foreign variants, which is featured in the auction at the back as well. That's not too bad for Jean Grey. I agree, Richard. It's a really nice looking picture. So I'd never seen Jean Grey look like that before. So it's no wonder Scott Summers is smitten, if that's how she wanders around the house. But these are fantastic. So this one sold for 3,750 and was part of a set. So you can see here you've got the Human Torch, and you've got basically Susan and Reed, but they're called Jane and Reed, which for someone known, and Red, sorry, for some unknown reason, and Dr. Doom, Dr. Fatalis. Now the Human Torch went for 2,125. The Jane and Reed went for 2,062.50. The Doctor Doom went for 4,250. So the Doctor Doom fetched the biggest amount, but it's just great getting. They do a good job, Heritage, in terms of these materials. The other thing that was fascinating that I found was a number of UK 2000 AD pieces of art in there as well. So let's have a look at that. So there's Carlos Esquerra, Prog Judge Dredd story from Prog 680, which is part of the Necropolis storyline. I'll be interested to see how much that went for. I might bring this one up. I'm surprised at this. Now, I will bring this up on the screen because this has just surprised me how much this went for. I'm absolutely astounded. I wish I'd been this annoys me because if I'd have had this catalog and actually been paying attention, I would have picked this up for $937.50. You know, Judge Death with the Sisters of Death. Drawn by Carlos Esquerra. That is disappointing to me. So I will be paying much more attention to the artwork auctions at Heritage as we go through. So, but yeah, you can see here there's a number of 2000 AD covers as well in here. You've got a Cam Kennedy one just there. That's 52145. Let's have a look and see how much these go for. I have a feeling that these 2000 ADs are not $10,000. So that's That makes sense. That's what I would have expected. But an interior page going for $937 is like, it's just bonkers. So someone got themselves a steal there. And then let's have a look at this Judge Death one. There you go. Look at that. I really like that rip-off of The Killing Joke. But yeah, hopefully you, as I say, if you haven't checked out All Heritage, it's worth just checking out these auctions. As I say, the weekly auctions as well, but these signature ones are really good. They do a great job in presentation. It's nice to have the catalog, and I've been meaning for a while to do a little bit of a deep dive on these catalogs, but at some point we will be I'll be doing a bit more of heritage stuff, because I do think it's quite interesting seeing some of the history of these pieces as they come up. Right, let's get back. Let's take this off the screen. Let's get back to our spoiler review. So now I'm going to give you spoilers, because I do feel it's time. It's been a long time. If you want to hear spoilers, stay with me. If you don't want to hear spoilers, now's the time for you to leave. So, spoilers. Okay. Now, as I say, I'm actually happy that so first off, Taskmaster. I was never happy with the Taskmaster character in Black Widow. I was always a big fan of Tony Masters, and I always wanted to have Taskmaster be revealed as the Taskmaster. I'm not so keen on changing characters for changing characters' sake. I think what they did do with the Taskmaster at the beginning of this movie was pretty good. So the general sense of this movie is they're all come. So Yelena's on her own and is then sent to go to clean up some mess for Val. And it just so turns out that everyone is being sent to that same location. John Walker's there, Ghost is there, Taskmaster's there, and they're all tasked with killing one person within that list. And they go into the room, and and this is a reason for the beginning of the review when I was talking about this is why I'm a little unsure about the Ghost character, is she just kills Taskmaster as she's directed by Val, but there's no there's no repercussions. It's just she kills people now, and she's an assassin of some so there were little moments like that where I loved the movie, but it was just not deep enough. Like, they didn't actually talk through those issues and why it happened. What was interesting, though, is the action scene at the beginning is fabulous, with them fighting each other and moving around, and the different surprises in terms of those characters. So it was great seeing them all fighting, but it was a shame. It was a real shame that they didn't sort of have too much, like, other than Florence Pugh and Bob, they didn't give you a lot of depth into the characters. Speaking of Bob, I thought Sentry was really good. I'd love to hear what everyone else thought in the chat. I was a little nervous about how he would turn up when he transformed into the Sentry, because and again, interesting as well, thinking that about Stephen Ewan, who was originally up to playing that role, how he would have turned out. Talking of spoilers, the toy box. Vader is Luke's father. Yes, you are correct. So yes, we are in spoiler territory, sir. We are now. If you haven't seen Star Wars May the 4th, I think Toy Box has ruined it for everyone. But yeah, great to see you, mate. Welcome. Richard, I loved the actor and the character. They did Sentry really well. They did, but again, this is another one of those where there's not a lot. So I sound like I'm being very critical of the movie, but I did enjoy it tremendously. But I'm, again, when you're so deep into these characters and these stories, you tend to sort of, when you think about it in the cold light of day, I don't think they gave enough explanation of his powers. It was just, he's really strong and he can beat everybody up. So it'll be interesting to see how they deal with the Sentry. So at the end, the Sentry he's decided not to use his powers, but is still hanging out with the whoa, we almost said it, with the Thunderbolts at the end. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out as well. But yeah, I did think they did the Sentry really well. I also thought they did the Void really well too. I love the fact that's now the reason why he's sort of sitting back and chilling out and not wanting to engage because he doesn't want to bring the Void out. So they got that dynamic to some degree right in terms of the movie. I know nothing about Thunderbolts, trying to figure out what the hype is about. Are you talking about the comic books or are you talking about the movie? In terms of the movie, it's as I say, the problem with the movie's really, really good. I think the issue is that we've been without a good Marvel movie for a little while. And so that's why everyone's raving about it, because it's actually more back to their old form in terms of they're telling a story rather than their usual stuff, which is telling a message. And I think they got lost in that. And I think the nice thing now is that they're getting back to story. The thing that I really did like was them becoming heroes. I thought the bait and switch at the end, where Val brought them on and introduced them as this new team, was very, very well done. I will not reveal the title of the new team, but I was very surprised. Not very surprised. I was actually expecting either that or another title. And I thought that they did that very, very well. I loved the end coda scene, which apparently was filmed 1 month ago. So filmed after they'd done all the filming, which is them in the Avengers Tower hanging out. But yes, it was Suicide Squad, but for Marvel. It was a little like that. It was underdogs versus heroes. Which actually brings me to another point. I liked all of the characters that they used and how they all came together for that team and became the new team at the end. But I would have liked to have seen other villains, and I don't understand why they didn't do it. Like Baron Zemo, Baron Zemo would have been a great choice to include in that. But he was, that's a tougher sell for some people. But as I say, you've got a whole bunch of heroes that have done some terrible, terrible things. So I don't think that this superhero squad's going to last, unfortunately. And I think we will end up with, I think it'll be a very short-lived period for these characters. But I do hope they do something with them, because I really enjoyed the film, really enjoyed the characters, the way that they build it out. I really enjoyed the way they handled the Sentry. There was not a lot of Easter eggs and things like that in here. The end credit scene is direct leading to the Fantastic Four. I don't think I'm spoiling anything there. You would have expected something like that. So obviously what's going to happen in the Fantastic Four directly leads into this movie here. So you get to see, I actually don't think it's spoiling. You will see the Fantastic Four, and the good news that the Thunderbolts will return. So, as I say, I love the movie. Richard loved the movie. I would urge you to go and see it. As I say, I won't give too many spoilers, but it was very, very good. There's a few nitpicky things for a big comic fan like me, but still, it was an enjoyable movie. Right, we are at 40 minutes in. I am going to call it today. It's been a pleasure having you all on and enjoying the show. I have thoroughly enjoyed sharing the books with you. We're back to normal next week. No free comic book day. I will be going through some more of my older books that you would have seen, including some interesting books from the Bronze and Copper Age. So, yes, you'll be seeing some of those books that you would normally see from me. I've got a whole batch coming in. Also this week, stay tuned. I've got a really interesting video. There was a delay in getting my latest video out because I'm working on this rather long work on a whole bunch of different types of comic books. So you'll see that coming out this week. Hopefully, it will be done very, very soon. But this one's a real labor of love. So hopefully you get to enjoy it. It will cover a lot of, it'll cover Silver Age through to Bronze Age, through to Copper Age. So there'll be a whole plethora of books, but I think it's something that will be very informative for everyone in the community because, as I say, I did a lot of research on this one, which is why it's taking just a little bit longer than normal. But great to see you all. Thank you so much for joining. Hopefully, go and check the movie out if you haven't already. And I will see you all next week. Take care of yourselves and have a great week.